Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into male puberty. We're looking at insights from the Adulting Unfiltered podcast, their episode Dude, What's Happening, plus some FAQs and our own analysis.
Right.
So you're with us, and the mission, really, is to unpack this major life stage. We want to pull out the key changes, maybe some surprising facts, just essential stuff so you can understand it better.
Whether you're going through it now or just remembering it or maybe helping someone else.
Exactly.
And I have to say, listening to Alex and Maya on Adulting Unfiltered, what really comes across is how relatable they make it.
Yeah.
Alex brings that male perspective, his own experiences, and Maya adds this, broader developmental context. It feels like a safe space to talk about things that often aren't really discussed openly.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
And they called it a roller coaster, which feels spot on. You've got these huge physical shifts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this whole mix of, like, new emotions plus trying to figure out your place socially. It's exciting, confusing.
And definitely awkward sometimes. Let's be real.
Yeah, definitely awkward. So our aim here is to break down these connected pieces because understanding the basics, well, it's just so important for everyone involved.
Yeah, it's interesting how it's not just biology in a vacuum. These changes really ripple out, don't they? Affecting feelings, friendships, everything.
Okay, so let's dive into, like, the engine room, the physical changes. What are the big ones?
Well, growth spurts are huge.
Right, like Adulting Unfiltered said, suddenly outgrowing all your pants.
Exactly. And the voice change, of course. That
Yeah.
deepening.
And the fun voice cracks, as they put it.
Classic squeaks. And it's interesting that's testosterone lengthening the vocal cords. It's a real physical change causing that.
Makes sense. And then there's hair showing up, face, underarms.
Chest, legs, pubic area, pretty much everywhere new.
And skin changes, the classic hello acne phase for many.
Mm-hmm. Can be tough.
Plus, internally, you've got the growth of testes and penis, sperm production starts.
Which leads to erections and nocturnal emissions or wet dreams. Totally normal stuff.
Yeah, Alex and Maya made that clear. And muscle mass increases, too.
It's a lot happening all at once. Like they said, it can feel kind of overwhelming. The body's just doing so much, all triggered by those hormones.
Which brings us to timing. Like, when does this all kick off?
Yeah.
And how long does it last?
Well, the start time varies, like hugely, generally between 9 and 14. But it can be earlier or later. There's no single right answer.
Okay, so quite a wide window.
A very wide window. And the whole thing isn't quick. It can last several years. Some changes might even continue into the late teens, maybe early 20s.
Wow. Okay, so it's not just a couple of years.
No, definitely not. The key thing is that variability. Comparing yourself to your friends, often not helpful, can just cause stress.
Right. Like, Adulting Unfiltered said, patience is key. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their own clock.
Precisely.
Okay, so shifting from the physical, what about the emotional side? What's going on there?
Oh, that's a big one. It's massively influenced by hormones, especially the increase in testosterone. So you get those mood swings, maybe feeling more irritable or sensitive. Alex and Maya called it a real emotional soup.
Emotional soup, I like that. It captures the mix.
Yeah, and it's partly because these hormones are literally affecting brain chemistry, the parts that handle emotions.
Ah, okay. So it's not just being moody, there's a biological driver.
Absolutely. And then you add in the self-consciousness about all the physical changes happening.
Yeah, suddenly very aware of your body, maybe comparing yourself to others.
Totally. And new sexual feelings or attractions start emerging, which can be, well, confusing or exciting, or both, as they pointed out.
Yeah, a whole new territory.
And it's important to say those feelings, totally normal, healthy part of growing up, that initial confusion, everyone feels that.
Good point. And sometimes does it lead to, like, more aggression or impulse behaviors? Or maybe the opposite, becoming withdrawn?
Both can happen, yeah. Some might act out more, others might pull inwards. It really varies.
So a lot to navigate internally.
Definitely. Which just highlights how important understanding and empathy are from parents, friends, everyone supporting them. These aren't just choices. They're often tied to these big biological shifts.
Right. Okay. Now, the social world. That gets tricky too, doesn't it? Especially that pressure to fit in.
Oh, huge. That feeling of needing to belong is really strong in adolescence.
So what's the advice there?
Well, Adulting Unfiltered had a great point. Focus on finding real friends, people you connect with over interests and values, not just trying to be popular.
That makes sense. Real connection offers more support.
Exactly. And they also said something really comforting. It's okay to feel awkward.
Yeah.
Everyone does, apparently, even if they hide it well.
Huh. That's good to remember. We've
Yeah.
all been there. And dating comes into the picture too.
Right. Another layer of complexity. The advice there was generally start slow,
Okay.
focus on respectful communication. That's fundamental. And learning to handle rejection, understanding it's normal, not about your worth, that's vital for building resilience.
That's huge, especially when you're feeling more sensitive anyway.
Exactly. And having good, kind, supportive friends through all of this, it just makes such a difference.
Absolutely. Okay, so thinking about well-being,
Mm-hmm.
are there things young guys should actively try to avoid during puberty?
Yeah, definitely some key things. Number one is probably substance abuse, alcohol, drugs, vaping, smoking. The risks are just higher with long-term health consequences during all this development.
Right, brain's still developing, body's changing.
Exactly. The second big one, unsafe sex. Understanding consent is non-negotiable, plus knowing about contraception and preventing STIs. Crucial stuff.
Absolutely critical. Anything else to watch out for?
Well, isolating yourself too much. Needing space is normal, sure, but totally withdrawing might signal deeper issues.
Mm-hmm.
Also, those unhealthy comparisons, especially with social media driving so much of it now, it can really tank self-esteem.
Yeah, the comparison trap. It's easy to fall into.
And finally, just the basics, neglecting hygiene or not getting enough sleep. It sounds simple, but it impacts physical and mental health, especially when your body's working so hard.
All really good points. Now, some of these topics, like sexual health, can be, well, awkward to discuss. How do you even start those conversations?
The key is creating an open, non-judgmental space. That's the foundation.
Easier said than done sometimes, though.
True. But starting early and casually helps. Weave it into regular chats. Don't make it one big, scary talk.
Okay, normalize it a bit.
Exactly. And use accurate terms for body parts and functions, no euphemisms. It reduces shame and makes it clear.
Right, direct language.
And normalize things like erections, wet dreams, masturbation. They're natural parts of development. And crucially, talk about consent, what it means, why it's
No.
vital.
Non-negotiable, you said.
Absolutely. And discuss contraception and STI prevention honestly. Frame it as responsible self-care, respecting yourself and others, pointing them to good websites, books, or even a doctor can help too.
That sounds like a really solid approach, destigmatizing and practical. Now, while puberty is normal, are there medical things that might pop up that need attention?
Yes, while most changes are fine, some things warrant a checkup. Like really severe acne might need a dermatologist.
Okay.
Sometimes boys develop some breast tissue gynecomastia due to hormone shifts, usually temporary, but can be upsetting.
Right, that could cause some anxiety.
Definitely. And then, much rarer, but really important to know about, is testicular torsion. That's a medical emergency. Needs immediate attention.
Wow, okay. Good to be aware of that one.
Absolutely. The bottom line is, if there are concerns like persistent pain, weird lumps, really severe emotional distress, see a healthcare professional. Don't rely on Dr. Google.
Good advice. So, for parents, guardians, anyone supporting a young guy through this, what's the best way to help?
Number one, patience and understanding. It sounds simple, but it's huge.
Yeah.
Keep the lines of communication open, even if conversations feel short or awkward sometimes. Just being available matters.
Let them know you're there.
Exactly. Offer reassurance that what they're going through is normal. They aren't alone in it. Practical help is great too. Hygiene stuff, clothes shopping for those growth spurts.
Right, the practicalities.
Make sure they have access to good, factual information. Respect their need for privacy, which grows a lot now, but still be present. And really importantly, validate their feelings.
Even if the feelings seem irrational.
Even then, acknowledging their emotion, saying, I hear you, that's key. It doesn't mean you agree with the logic, just that you recognize the feeling is real for them.
That makes a lot of sense. Validation is powerful. Okay, we've mentioned hormones, especially testosterone, a lot. Can we dig into that a bit more? Its influence seems massive.
It really is. Testosterone is the main driver for so many physical changes, but its impact goes way beyond that. It affects the brain significantly during puberty.
How so?
It influences mood, can contribute to that irritability or aggression in some. It ramps up libido, the sex drive. It affects energy levels, maybe even competitiveness. It's really reshaping things mentally, too.
Yeah. So it's not just muscles and hair, it's brain chemistry, mood, drive, a whole system thing.
Totally. That analogy from Adulting Unfiltered, the body's internal messaging system getting a massive software update, I think that really captures the intensity.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Understanding that there's this biological basis for a lot of what they're feeling and experiencing, that can actually help in managing it all.
Right. Knowing why can make it less confusing. And with all this growing and changing, nutrition must be pretty important too.
Oh, absolutely crucial. Calorie needs shoot up during growth spurts, but it's about quality, not just quantity.
So not just loading up on junk food.
Ideally, no. A balanced diet is key. Lots of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins. Calcium is important for bones, so dairy or alternative. Iron helps fight fatigue, which can be common.
Okay. Anything else?
Hydration. Drink plenty of water. And yeah, try to limit the super sugary drinks, heavily processed stuff. Good nutrition doesn't just fuel physical growth, it really supports mood and energy levels too.
Makes sense fuel for the software update.
Mm.
So looking back at everything we've discussed and drawing from the sources, what were the main pros, maybe, of navigating puberty successfully?
Well, a big pro mentioned was empowerment through knowledge. Understanding what's happening demystifies it, reduces anxiety.
Yeah, knowing makes it less scary.
Exactly. Another one is just the huge personal development that happens. Building resilience, becoming more independent, getting to know yourself better. It's foundational.
Right, a real growth period in every sense.
And if navigated well with good support, it helps build a foundation for healthy relationships and just generally healthy adulthood.
Those are definitely positives.
Yeah.
What about the downsides or challenges, the cons?
Information overload was mentioned. Sometimes too much info or the wrong kind can actually ramp up anxiety. And the comparison thing, again, comparing your development isn't helpful.
Right, the communication barriers too.
Yes, very real. Even with good intentions, it can be hard for teens and adults to connect effectively about this stuff. And lastly, those societal pressures around masculinity. What it means to be a man can add a lot of unhelpful stress.
Yeah, those expectations can be tough. So wrapping this up, it sounds like male puberty is, well, complex. It's individual. It's okay for it to be weird and confusing and tough.
Absolutely. And having good information and solid support seem to be the absolute keys to navigating it.
Knowledge and support. Got it. Okay, so final thought here. Using that massive software update idea again.
Yeah.
If puberty is like this potentially glitchy installation phase driven by hormones, what are some ways we individuals, family, society could provide better, maybe more innovative technical support? Could it be rethinking those masculinity norms, finding better ways to talk, making good resources even easier to find? Something to think about.
That's a great question to leave folks with.
And for you, our listener, maybe reflect on how all these pieces, the physical, the emotional, the social, all weave together to create that unique experience of male puberty.